I don't know how serious this breakup is, okay? Because sometimes people break up, get back together, break up, get back together. Sometimes people try and hold on even though the relationship's over. But I'm saying stop having sex. Redirect all the energy, redirect all that focus. That you have to go through that uncomfortable process. And God really wants to help us with the things that we struggle with, okay? You need to help yourself in this healing process. I just want to see where he is. I just want to see, all right? But that seeing is keeping them fresh in your memory. You're like, you gotta take it easy, you know, you gotta take it easy. You're like, but I love him, but I like him, but he's the only one that knows me. I'm comfortable with him, like he's mine. Listen, going back to your ex isn't gonna help the situation because you're still entangled. Unless you knew the person wasn't for you to begin with, then every day is a madness. You're waiting to feel happy again. You're waiting to feel motivated again. You're waiting to feel like your normal self again. You're waiting to feel bubbly again. You're waiting to just feel like how you used to feel, okay? But waiting for it, right? That ain't the answer. You gotta go get that. Hey guys, it's your girl Shan, back with another video. If you're new here, what's good? What's good? What brought you over here? What brought you over here? Now, if you're a regular here, I need to know why you haven't subscribed. I need to know why you haven't subscribed. I'm gonna assume that you've come through, right? Because you wanna know how to deal with a breakup. You wanna know how to get over that guy. You wanna know how to get over that girl. Is that what you're here for? That's what you're here for. You wanna know how to let her go. You want to know how to let him go. You want to know how to cope, right? Because you're struggling. And you know what, I'm gonna try and empathize with you guys a bit, because sometimes I'm a bit cutthroat, but at the same time, right, I always talk from a place of either experience, conversations that I've had with people, the people that I've supported, the people that I've worked with, the clients that I've helped, right? And you can trust my word, you can take my word for it. I'm confident that the advice that I give, it's you know what I'm trying to say, it's good. It's good, right? It's never irrational. I always get you guys to consider and think before you act, okay? To think long term, not short term, to break cycles, to break habits, okay? That's what I'm about. That's what all my videos are about. So, okay, you're upset, you're heartbroken, you feel deceived, you feel let down, you feel upset that things haven't gone the way that you imagined with this person, okay? You was once in love. They were once yours. They were once, it was a special thing, all right? And it's no longer that. And breakups can happen. Look at me trying to be empathetic, you know, I just took it slow for you guys. Like usually I just come in like boom boom boom, but I just took it slow for you guys. I felt that. I felt me trying to be empathetic with my tone of voice, my delivery, like, yo, okay, let me try and bring it back. Let me try and bring it back. Breakups happen for many reasons, okay? Why did I think to say cheating first? Wow, while we're here, cheating, right? Sometimes breakups happen because someone's cheated, someone's like stepped out of the relationship, of the marriage, right? Sometimes two people's paths just aren't aligned anymore, okay? You have different visions for your life. It happens. Wow, what other reasons are there? There's just loads of reasons. Like you might have been with the person for many years and you might have met in school and you've just outgrown each other, or someone could want children and the other person doesn't. Okay, that's the paths not aligning. There's many reasons, okay? There's many reasons, but I want to help you, okay? I want to help you on ways to deal with it. I want to give you some tips on how to cope with the breakup, because it's not easy going through a breakup, okay? It's not easy separating from somebody that you're so familiar with, somebody that you was in love with, somebody that you've been with for so long, even if it wasn't a long period of time, okay? When you're emotionally invested, right, it hurts, okay? So first and foremost, I want you to know that there's a grieving period, okay? Meaning that it's completely normal to go through this process, because it's a part of the process, okay? To grieve what you thought it would be, okay? Grieving might look ugly. Grieving might look a bit crazy. Grieving might look a bit chaotic. Grieving might have you questioning your own sanity. Like one day you might be okay and you're like, yeah, I'm good. Like, forget him, forget her, I'm good. Like, don't mention their name. The next day you're in tears, like wanting to phone somebody to speak about that very person that you didn't want to talk about yesterday. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So you have to be patient with yourself and know that it's completely normal to grieve, okay? Because I didn't want to go into this video saying, oh, you know, don't do this and don't do that and don't do this and don't, but it's completely normal to grieve, okay? It's a loss in some way. I want you to know that it's completely normal to feel hurt. It's completely normal to feel disappointed, to feel let down, to feel that you've wasted time, and you have to allow yourself to grieve, okay? You have to allow yourself to process what's happened, okay? You need to process what's happened, but right, you're not going to stay there, okay? Because there comes a point where you have to make a decision to, what do you have to do? What do you have to do actually? Okay. Okay. There comes a point where even though you feel these things, right, you don't stay there, okay? And what I mean by that is when you don't feel okay, when you feel upset, when you feel emotional, right, when you feel a bit down, there's the temptation to stay there because you want to just sit with how you feel. You want to sit with it like you don't feel okay. And sometimes, right, when people are in a low place, when people are in a hurt place, when people are depressed or anxious or whatever it is, right, well, not whatever it is, because we're talking about going through a breakup, it's hard to see life without this person. It's hard. And you know what, actually, let's back it up a minute, because sometimes people go through a breakup and you can see life without this person because you might have been the one that's broken up with the person, okay? But it doesn't mean that it's easy, okay? You still might find it painful. You still might find it hard, because I think sometimes when people break up, we always imagine that the person that's being broken up with is the only one that's hurt. I don't believe that. I believe that it still can be hard to break up. I truly believe, right, that people don't necessarily get into a relationship, get married, do all of that lovey-dovey stuff with the intentions of breaking up. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Oh yeah, we're gonna break up in 3 years on the 6th month from the 10th day. Like, you don't see it like that. You don't picture it like that unless you knew the person wasn't for you to begin with. Then every day is a madness, because every day you're thinking, what am I doing? I wasn't supposed to be in this. What am I doing? Like, where am I going? Like, I weren't supposed to be in this. Okay, that's different. And that might be because you found yourself in a situationship that became something that it wasn't supposed to be. And that's hard too, because you can become familiar with a person, you can build a bond, you can build a connection, even though it's a situationship. No one time no different, because we're humans, okay? Like, we have feelings, we have emotions, and it's completely normal to build a connection the more that you're around somebody. So where was I going with this? Grieve. Grieve, but don't stay there. What do you mean by that, Shan? I basically mean that at some point, right, when you know that now this is affecting your everyday life, now it's affecting the way that you show up with your friends, your family, your work, your hygiene, your self-care, right? You now have to wake up in the morning, right? And now it becomes a decision, right? Because a lot of the time you're waiting to feel happy again. You're waiting to feel motivated again. You're waiting to feel like your normal self again. You're waiting to feel bubbly again. You're waiting to just feel like how you used to feel, okay? But waiting for it, right, that ain't the answer. You gotta go get that. You've gotta go get that. And however that looks, you gotta do it, okay? Obviously, I don't want you to do things that you might potentially regret. But what I do want you to do is put your best foot forward every day, okay? I need you to shower, okay? Because some of you lot ain't showering. Some of you guys are not creaming your skin. Some of you guys aren't even like brushing your hair, or even just looking after yourself, just doing some of the simplest of things, right? Some of you guys aren't eating, okay? You're not even looking after yourself. When you're hungry, you become hangry. You've got no energy, right? You are a living being, okay? What do you need? You need water, you need sunlight, you need energy, you need fuel. Where are you going to get the fuel from? From food, right? The sunlight, the water, the food that you eat. If you've got an animal, if you've got plants in your house, right, you wouldn't go without not feeding your plants. You wouldn't go without not allowing your plants to have sunlight. Wow. I used to do that. That's why I got fake plants now, right? But you get where I'm going with this, okay? You wouldn't deprive your animal, your dog or your cat of food. You wouldn't deprive your dog of going for a walk. Actually, some people don't walk their dogs, but you get where I'm going with this. And I'm saying you're a living being, okay? If you want to live and thrive and have energy and just feel a bit better, start with the simple things, okay? Drinking water, eating good, going for walks in nature, touching grass. Be out there, okay? And this is what I'm saying, you gotta go get it, okay? Because the grass ain't gonna come to you, the sunlight might not come to you, the food might not come to you. You gotta go get it, okay? And I don't want you to stay in a funk. I don't want you to stay low in mood. I don't want you to stay depressed. Now, it doesn't necessarily solve anything, right? But the more that you're occupied, the more that you're feeding and pulling back into yourself, right? Rather than dwelling on what was and what should and what could have been, right? You're going to start to feel better about yourself every little day. Now, again, it's not going to solve everything, but at least you're doing what's in your control. And sometimes when two people break up, right, you believe that for you to feel happy again, for you to feel normal, for you to feel your usual self, right, you feel that you need this person back. You feel like the only way for you to feel happy again, the only way for this void to be filled, is to have the person back. You don't want to feel anxious anymore. You don't want to feel depressed anymore. You don't want to feel sad. You don't want to feel lonely, right? So you think that you need this person back. And I get it, completely get it. And I'm not going to downplay what it's like to go for a breakup. But also, have you ever learnt to be alone? Have you ever learned to be happy by yourself? Have you ever spent time alone and been comfortable in your own company? Now, when people are in relationships, right, sometimes you get so tied to the hip and that person becomes their everything, and sometimes people might not even have friends outside of the relationship, so it might even be more difficult, right, being without this person. But I need to ask you right now, okay, who are you without this person? Okay, again, I'm not downplaying a breakup, but who are you without this person? I feel like this is a really good time to start to trust in God and to pray for God to help you to understand that He can fill that void, okay? We all have a God-shaped hole in our heart that only God can fill, okay? And sometimes what we do, we try and fill God's place with another person, okay? And we put people on a pedestal. We have these expectations of people to make us happy. We have these expectations of people to fulfill us and make us happy and sure that we're okay. When the person's gone, right? When the person's no longer here, who are you? I need to ask you, like, who are you? Okay, do you not feel like living? Like, when I say that, do you not want to be here anymore? Like, do you want to be off this planet? And if that is the case, I need you to know that with or without this person, you still have a purpose on this earth. You came into this world as an individual, and you need to be fully convinced of that. You need to be fully persuaded. You need to be fully convinced that you still have a purpose with or without this person. It's true. God has created you for a purpose, okay? I want you to start praying and asking God, what's your purpose? What is your purpose on this earth? And because you're seeking Him, He will tell you, okay? But a lot of the time, our purpose and our identity is wrapped up in somebody else. And now that person's gone, who are you? Who are you? You're questioning your worth. You're questioning, should you even be here? You're questioning everything. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do anything that you might regret. I don't want you to do anything, right, that's going to hurt anybody else, okay? Because we've all got a purpose on this earth. No matter what you've done, no matter what you've done, you've still got a purpose. Even if you feel like you've done something wrong, even if you feel like you're in a bad place right now and you feel shameful or embarrassed about anything, you still have a purpose to live, okay, and to be happy. Listen, you can be happy again. You can smile again. You can be your usual self again. And for some people, you might even feel like you've never even known yourself. You might even feel like you just don't know yourself. You never have known yourself. You don't even know what you're interested in. You don't even know what hobbies you like. You don't even have any healthy connections with people. And I'm saying it's so possible to have all of that. And you might think, oh, well, that's good for you, Shan, because, but listen, right? I'm not emotionally invested. So I'm speaking from a logical place. I'm speaking from a spiritual place. But if you're emotionally invested, it's hard to see this, okay? Because the emotions that you're feeling right now might be pain, anger, frustration, hurt, disappointment, guilt, remorse, embarrassment, all of that, okay? So I can speak from this place because I'm not feeling all of that. You are. So I need you to take what I'm saying seriously. And I ain't joking. I ain't joking. Okay, so I know that was a little bit heavy, right? But it's necessary. It's very necessary because I need you guys to know that breakups happen all the time, okay? Breakups happen all the time, okay? But we're going to move on to some lighter things, right? We're going to keep it a little bit more light, right? Now, listen, right? I don't know how serious this breakup is, okay? Because sometimes people break up, get back together, break up, get back together, get back together, break up, get back together, get back together, break up, stay together, break up, right? Yeah. Yo, listen, I don't know how serious you guys are about this breakup this time around. I don't know how serious it is, okay? And everything that I'm speaking about, right, is going to take time. Everything that I'm speaking about is going to take practice, okay, right? You need to stop checking his social media. I know you weren't expecting that one, was ya? You need to stop checking his social media, okay? Like, you need to get this guy out of sight, okay? This girl out of sight. You need to stop checking the social media. Look, right, you might think it's extreme. You might think that it's over the top, but you might have to block. No, for real, you might have to block. No, for real, you might have to block. You might have to block on social media. You might have to block the number from calling. You might have to block and delete. Now, I'm not saying this to be toxic. I'm saying this because you might have to guard your heart by all means necessary, okay? If you don't want to keep going around these cycles, if you don't want to keep going back to a relationship that isn't serving you anymore. You're going to have to put some practical things into place, okay? So you might have to block, you might have to delete numbers, you might have to create boundaries where you're not in the same environment anymore. Like if you're still going to the family dues, right, where you guys ain't together, you're hurting yourself, and also you're giving mixed messages, okay? So you need to create boundaries for both of you guys if you want to move forward, okay? Sometimes people try and hold on even though the relationship's over. If you guys aren't together no more, right, why are you guys spending so much time together? Like, maybe you're saying, oh, but we're just friends. Listen, right, have you guys even had a cooling off period, right, where you've gone 6 months, right, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, right, maybe even a year, right, with minimal contact, okay? Yeah, you might have children together, but my belief is, right, that you have to go through the uncomfortable process. You have to go through those uncomfortable feelings that you don't want to go through, okay? So I'm saying you can't be breaking up today and then best is tomorrow and you're going out for food tomorrow, okay? Like, that's just you guys together but without the title, okay? So I'm saying, right, if you guys really want to break up and move forward and separate, there needs to be some boundaries where you're not spending so much time together. If you've got children, it's different, but also there's ways that you can go about it, okay? Like, there needs to be boundaries, okay? Maybe if he's picking up the children, he doesn't come in the house. If the children are old enough and they have a phone, maybe he will text them to say he's outside. Listen, I know you might not want to go through the uncomfortable process, okay, of doing this, but I feel like the longer you hold on, the more that you're going to hurt each other. You want to avoid less confusion. You want to avoid less stress. You want to avoid less heartache. It's probably already a difficult thing for you. Probably already hurting. Okay, so let's not make it any more difficult than it needs to be. Okay, I'm saying don't do it. Don't do it. So going back to social media, I just want to see what he's doing. I just want to see who he's out with. I just want to see where he is. I just want to see where she's at. I just want to see. All right, but that seeing is keeping them fresh in your memory. But I feel like the longer you hold on, the more that you're going to hurt each other. The person might be in your mind right now, okay? Normal if you've just broken up. But the more that you're seeing them, is it going to help the situation? Is it going to help the situation, or is it going to keep them at the forefront of your mind? So now, even though you're trying to do things, right, stay occupied, you're trying to go for your walks, you're trying to meet up with friends, right, you're trying to eat better, you're trying to, you know, look after yourself. If you're still looking at their social media all the time, right, to see what they're doing and you can see where they're at and all the rest of it, is that going to help the situation? No, it's not, because you're out, but you're still thinking of them. You're out, but you're still looking at them. Like, think about it. It don't make sense. I'm saying stop. Start. Look, if you need to make a whole new social media yourself, do what you've got to do, okay? I'm saying you need to help yourself in this healing process. You need to help yourself, because the happiness, the joy, and you wanting to feel like you know myself again isn't just going to come to you, okay? It's going to require you to do some things where you now protecting your heart and you guarding your heart, because I'm saying, like, you got to take it easy, you know, you got to take it easy. All right, cool. So, where am I going with this one? This was a bit, you know, this was a bit like, okay, cool. So I'm going with this one now. So I'm saying, right, you guys have broken up, okay? I don't know why I'm whispering. You guys have broken up. You've known each other for how long? You're comfortable, you're familiar, all the rest of it. But I'm saying stop having sex. Stop having sex with the person that you're no longer with. I know it's mad that I said it. It's crazy, isn't it? Because you're like, but I love him, but I like him, but he's the only one that knows me. I'm comfortable with him. Like, he's mine. He's still mine. Like, yo, listen. I'm saying, right, y'all gotta stop going back to each other. You saying, but I love him. He's the only one that knows me. He knows me well. I'm comfortable. I'm familiar with him, but it's good. I need it. Yo, listen. I'm saying, listen, right? Do you want to make this harder for yourself? Or do you want to break free from this cycle? Because I know that you're familiar with the person. I know that it might be the only person that you've had sex with in a while. It might be the only person that you've ever had sex with at all. Listen, them cards need to come off the table. It's not going to help the situation, okay? Because you're being intimate. That is an intimate thing, okay? So even if you don't feel like you're head over heels for the person, even if you've made up your mind not to get back together, even if you're not even attracted to the person anymore, I don't know what it is. Attracted? Why are you sleeping with them then? I don't know. All right? But I'm saying, make this easy for yourself, okay? Listen, going back to your ex isn't going to help the situation because you're still entangled, okay? And I'm saying, if you don't want that for your life, move forward. Let it go. You're gonna have to say no. You're gonna have to develop some self-control and some discipline, okay? And you're gonna have to use up that energy, right? Use up that energy in other places. Get creative, invest, start a new hobby. Like some of you guys might have wanted to do YouTube, for example, or you might have wanted to start painting, making cakes, going for walks, going to the gym. You might have wanted to do a course. Redirect all the energy, redirect all that focus, redirect it, like literally redirect it. Listen, you're gonna have to put that energy and focus somewhere else. Like start reading your Bible, because look, and getting closer to God, because God will help you with your weaknesses, okay? And I think a lot of the time we try and do these things, right, by ourselves, and God really wants to help us with the things that we struggle with, okay? That's why the Bible scripture says his strength is made perfect in our weaknesses, okay? So where we're weak, right, when we invite God in, we become strong, okay? Because he wants to help us and he's there to help us. But a lot of the time we try and do a lot of these things by ourselves, and God's like, what about me? You want this man, you want this woman, you want to put them on a pedestal, you want to do all this and that for them, right? You think you can't live without them, but what about me? Okay, let God be the source, let Jesus be the source, okay? Let Jesus be the source of your happiness, of your peace. Another scripture says is that God will give you the peace that surpasses all understanding. That means that even when you look around you, right, and everything looks chaotic, everything looks mad, everything looks like drama, everything looks a bit wild right now, you will have peace that doesn't make sense, okay? When you should be broken, when you should be depressed, when you should be low, when you should be suicidal, when you should be feeling certain things, right? When you have God in your life and you invite God into every area of your life, right, where you're struggling, you will have a peace that doesn't make sense. And even you will question, like, I don't know why I'm not stressed. I don't know why I'm not crying. I don't know why. I don't know why that I feel a little bit better than I did yesterday, because you're inviting God in now, okay? And the grieving process doesn't have to be as painful as it could be if you're doing it with God, okay? So I'm talking some stuff, you know, listen. What else do I want to say to you guys? And this one, guys, listen. And I was literally about to say, if you don't take anything from this video, make sure you take this, but I need to take everything from the video, but also this one, right? I can relate to this one heavily, right? Yo, use love. Allow the slow jams, forget the slow jams. Because listen, you know what I'm saying, yeah? When you're feeling emotional, you want someone to relate. So when you haven't got anyone to relate to, when your friends can't answer the phone, when everyone's sleeping, right? When you're driving and you just want to just think. When you just want to think and you put that slow jam on, right? You know that it makes you cry even more. You know that when you just say, you know that it's saying something, it's saying something, and now you want to cry a little bit more, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror bawling, you're looking at yourself in the mirror crying, right? Because Tyrese is saying something, Ashanti is saying something, Keisha, all of them, like, take it easy, yo. Take it easy on the slow jams. Put something upbeat on, like, you know, like get them shoulders moving. I know what it's like to put slow jams on, right? When you're heartbroken, just to make it a little bit worse. Like, listen, we voluntarily do it. We voluntarily just think, you know what? I'm going to listen to this right now. My heart's broken. I'm upset. I'm depressed. I've been crying all day. I've been crying all week. I've been crying all month. But I need to put a slow jam on. Like, why would we do that to ourselves? Like, I get it. Why would we do it though? Because you're in your feelings, okay? And you want someone else to be in the feelings with you. So we go to a song, and I'm saying allow the slow jams, put something else on. It's dangerous. You're going to have to be patient with yourself, okay? But also, what I do want, right, is for you to challenge yourself, because I don't want you to hear me saying be patient, right? And you use it as an excuse to stay in your feelings, because we ain't doing that, okay? So I need you to challenge yourself, okay? And to push yourself. And you know what another thing is, right? What I do want you to do is speak to a positive influence, because sometimes, right, going through a breakup can be a lonely place, because you might have repeated yourself to your friends and your family. You might have spoken about the situation so many times. You might have explained it and broken it down in so many ways, and everyone's like, okay, I get it. But you might feel that you need someone to speak to, okay? And you know what, right? You know when you've got that friend that is willing to listen to you, like no matter how many times you need to talk about it, and you speak about the same thing just in a different way, and they still listen and they're still willing to just ride it out with you. They're the kind of friends that are great, okay? Like them friends, you gotta have love for them, because it takes patience to hear the same thing over and over again. So if you've got a positive influence, someone that's going to tell you and they're going to hold you accountable, but also they're going to be empathetic and support you, might have to just say like, look, right, this is where I'm at, this is what it is, I need your help. I'm saying do it, don't try and do this alone, okay? And you might have to go therapy. I'm a big advocate in people going therapy, people getting support from someone that they're not familiar with. Sometimes you might have to go therapy to unpack everything that's been going on, to unpack and make sense of the things that are going on in your head. I know it's difficult because sometimes you don't want to speak to a stranger, but I'm telling you it's worth it, okay? Because if you don't want to stay where you are right now, if you want to grow, if you want to move forward, right? I'm telling you, these are the things that you need to be doing. And if you're saying, oh Shan, I can't afford a therapist, if you go on YouTube, there are therapists that will give you tips and strategies on how to overcome the things that you're going through. You can watch my videos, okay? All about growth, all about doing the inner work, all about healing, all about breaking cycles, all about God, okay? But also what you could start to do is journal. Like, I'm a big advocate in getting your thoughts down on paper. I see paper as a dumping ground, okay? You're dumping your thoughts out of your head onto paper, okay? And you're creating space in your mind for new thoughts, okay? New things to think about, because once it's down on paper, you've dumped it, okay? It's out your head. Yes, the thoughts might come back, but you're creating room until like you start thinking about new things. You can track your progress, you can track on how far you've come, because I'm telling you right now, right, the pain that you're feeling, the upset that you're feeling right now from this breakup, it's temporary. Okay, that might be hard to hear, but you're not going to stay here. Where you are right now, you won't be here forever, okay? You're going to look back and remember this. It will become a memory, and it will get easier as time goes by, okay? At the moment, you might be sleeping on your sofa. At the moment, you might be doing things that are out of the norm. All right, you might be doing things that are out of the norm, and you might not even recognize yourself, but I'm telling you, it's temporary. But you have to make a choice not to stay there, okay? You have to make a choice not to stay exactly where you are right now, and take small little steps each day to get you to where you want to be. Guys, I hope that you have taken something from this video. I hope you feel a little bit better about yourself. I hope that you feel hopeful that everything that you're going through right now is temporary, because it is, okay? You don't have to stay where you are, but also be patient with yourself, knowing that you can grieve, knowing that it's not easy, but also there's hope. And know that you're human, okay? You're human and you're having a human experience. But also challenge yourself to come out of your comfort zone and to take steps every day to heal, to take steps every day to get closer to God, to take steps every day to make sure that you're doing the best by you, okay? Also, if you've taken anything from this video, give this video a like, a comment, and subscribe, okay? Listen, whatever day it is right now, whatever time it is right now when you're watching this, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you soon, because I hope that you'll be back. So see you guys soon. Holla.